welcome to the Magical Boot 70th episode. This is Ronnie. I have Shudipta. We are going to record a preview uh, for the English Premier League, Arsenal versus Manchester City, which is going to be a very how we cannot say really a decider, but it's very much gonna set the tempo uh, for the entire season. How it going to shape from now, isn't it?
Well, it seems like that, but I don't think it will be like the only match, as Arteta was saying in the press conference, there are 19 other teams.
For
So,
sure.
um, and there are some teams like Brighton, we mentioned,
Hmm.
Brentford, Fulham, Newcastle. They are like really on their stellar form. So, and City and both City and Arsenal have to play them actually. So it would be fun to follow those teams, but also I think United are a little bit in, like, how can I say, sneaking back on both of the teams. So anything can happen. They are not that far behind at all. So and recently Arsenal lose points. So like let's just get into it. So like as the table seems like Arsenal has 21 games, I guess, like they played, and they have 51 points, and City played 22 games and they have like 48 points, so like 3 point deficit. But Arsenal has a game in hand, so like most likely, it, like they have a chance to go above like 6 points clear, and also if they play their games and win that, actually there is a possibility to go like 9 points clear. And for City, if they level up um, on this match, they will go on top because of goal difference. So, uh, and City, whenever they go, they go top. Nobody actually came over so far, or what we have seen. So it's not like the title decider, but it is so far the game of the season.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely. It's going to definitely set the tempo. How there are other teams, but definitely an interesting battle. So yeah, take us to what you think it's going to be.
let me show my screen.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. So this will probably most likely how will they set up both of the team. And interesting fact about both of the team, they are sort of like dealing with stuff. City was dealing with stuff before, but last match against Aston Villa, they sort of like solved it in a way. But there are still some problems because Aston Villa is not Arsenal. So that would be another issue. But for Arsenal, the like starting 11 has set, and but everyone was talking about like since they drew against Everton and they lost against Everton and they drew against Brentford, which is which actually shouldn't happen because of that goal, like the offside goal for from Ivan Tony, right? So yeah, basically, um, whatever happened actually. So this is basically their starting 11, and after this is Ramsdale, Gabriel on the left center back. I guess like Zinchenko is probably I don't know. He will buzzing to like show City something. Saliba was in excellent form, but he lost all head-to-head duel against Ivan Toni against Brentford. Actually won one probably or two, but in the second half he was losing everything, every battle. So that would be another problem for Arsenal. For like people are saying like although they are how can I say, they lost at crucial points, like 5 points in the last two matches. So yeah, people are saying like Tomiyasu should have play against Manchester City, but I don't think he was going to play. So like Ben White is probably starting. Front three is probably set, but recent form of like Trossard, we can see him there, I guess. But it's more like I don't think it's going to be happen, because like whenever Martinelli came in against City, he actually pushed back Kyle Walker in that FA Cup game. So probably Martinelli will start. Mid three probably unchanged if injury doesn't happen, or like Partey will be in the deep in the midfield, and Shaka and Odegaard, sorry, Xhaka and Odegaard will um, assist him in the midfield. So basically, this is the starting 11 for Arsenal. I think for City it's a different issue. I think their best 11 so far, with well, they're the best performance is against Aston Villa in the last game. But if I want to explain City's 11, I have to break down how they played before and how they're playing now. So normally, City build up with like a three in the back or two in the back. So it's their build up phase. Like normally, um, yeah, it was like this before, but this season they have a new problem, because in the final third they used to have these two players who were playing in these two positions, like pushing up the opposition defenders. But um, this season with Erling Haaland and whoever played in this position, like for example, like mm, except for Aguero, Gabriel Jesus was playing, Foden was playing, Bernardo Silva played for a while. They were using false nine, and but Erling Haaland is a different sort of material. He loved to sit on the space between the center backs, or like the space between and the how can I say, left back or right back or center backs, whenever his team is crossing, he loves to sit on the second post, so that he can score, or he can see the whole post and try to attack that actually. So uh, because of Erling Haaland, City's shape actually has changed a little bit. Sorry, yeah, um, it more looked like this in the build-up phase, like in the final third, um, and these four players are supporting, but it creates problems defensively. Like before how can I say, in the last season, whenever they're playing actually, um, they were actually not exposed by that actually, because other team, all of these three players were like creating sort of like a 4-4-2, and were going against man to man. So there are spared player uh, in the how can I say, to track the wingers actually. So there weren't actually playing through them actually, or through the middle, unless they showed it to showed it to the opposition team like this, or going there on the other side and showing the right side of the of the defense or stuff like that. And but they are winning in every now and then in the midfield and around this area. If you remember when we did our Liverpool versus Manchester City preview or some stuff like that, told them, we were saying that actually like both City and Liverpool were winning the balls in this sort of position, this sort of area between the D box and the mid circle. So, but this season with Haaland, they could not actually. They tried pressing, but Haaland was not actually uh, getting that actually how City pressed. So it created a gap between them, and they tried to fill it with like the inverted wing backs and stuff like that. But inverted wing backs actually had to go upward a little bit, which actually creates sort of like a or so whoever's covering Haaland in that actually pressing. If they're pressing from the right and pressing from the left, where he had to get a little bit like at least like 2 3 yards upwards. So it created a gap, and other team actually playing through that gap actually and City was exposed in the counter attack quite a while this season, and whenever and because of that actually they had to try to create a mid block. How can I say, with like three in the back and stuff like that, so this sort of shape, uh, uh, yeah, and try to press a little bit lower than that they usually do. But this also actually was not working for some reason, because like if teams goes man to man against them, against what we have seen even against Arsenal in FA Cup and Newcastle and Everton in their own half, or like some low block team. Uh, yeah, if the low blocks teams actually goes man to man in their lower blocks, there aren't actually any spaces, and City looks vulnerable to the counter attacks because the pushing Haaland is not used to, still not used to get like I don't know, like he's not getting that Manchester City how can I say, pressing. So like people are saying like if Haaland is making City worse and stuff like that. And so which is controversial because like he's already scored like 31 goals. This is insane. But still, there are some technical problems with Haaland, obviously. So he tried to solve it with like Alvarez. And playing sort of like a 4-4-2 because Alvarez is like really good in covering spaces, which he did pretty well. But yet again, it create a little bit, how can I say, space like just behind Haaland. And recently we have seen Haaland dropping a little bit, um, which actually like push up the defense a little bit of the opposition team. What we have seen against like Tottenham, Cuti Romero basically manhandling uh, like this gigantic striker. Um, um, so it was fun to watch actually. But thing is that like they're still creating sort of like if he's dropping still there, it like how can I say, closed up the spaces between the defensive line and the midfield like lines, and it creates problems for City because they don't have actually anywhere to go with passes. So they solved these problems against Villa, Aston Villa, um, by playing sort of like this sort of shape. Normally, we have seen that actually from City time to time. Like, yeah, three in the build up. Sorry, De Bruyne played. Uh, in there, Eke was not playing, so it was Silva. So yeah, it's sort of like that actually, which is their build up formation. But they played like this. But sometimes whenever Son was getting the ball, or sorry. what's his name? I forgot actually. Bailey was getting the ball. Bernardo Silva became sort of like a floating left back and tried to how can I say annihilate the threat in like by running down this side. But basically, when in the build-up phase, like in the slow build-up, he was basically operating in there or sometimes in there actually. So he was sort of like floating around the area, collecting balls and like how can I say uh, like opposing the Aston Villa pressure in the mid block. So this is how he solved this problem. So that's why I think um, probably, but here's the catch actually. AK, if you don't play AK, who is like in like a stellar form, uh, so it could be like AK Silva, Rodri, or it could be like Laporte and AK, like four genuine defender, and Gundogan and Silva, one of them will play or stuff like that. So it depends on that shape actually. So this is how he Pep Guardiola actually so far solved the problem, but with against Arsenal, with like Bukayo Saka pressing up there. Martinelli was like always there on that line, and Zinchenko like pressing up, and they actually went man to man in the last game, which actually surprised City, but not for long actually. So yeah, so we don't know what will happen with Manchester City. Either like he will go with Ake and Silva will play in the middle, or Gundogan came up in the later, or it will be something like how can I say? Also, there are like speculation, which like Arsenal fans they don't believe that actually there are issues with Erling Haaland. He might not play. So in that case, we can see the last year's formula, but like basic formation or whatever it is, it will be the same or similar. And with I think Grealish will start because he's in good form, and also like defensively he's a solid. How can I say? If you remember that checking back to Son, who is like really fast guy, uh, like faster than Grealish, obviously, but he struck back him, and defensively, his defensive work and that match is really impressive. So maybe he will play over Foden. So this is my take on that starting 11.
Well, that's again a lot can happen. Obviously, a goal
Yeah,
down
of
and
course.
goal up. Um,
Yeah,
although,
Arsenal has a problem actually. Like I forgot to mention, like last two games, they were actually like conceding. Yeah, they conceded two goals actually in the set pieces. So that is one of the problems. And City is like really good in defending set pieces. Um, I probably had that stat actually, but I could not find it in the morning for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, I could not find it. It's not here. Yeah, also like a good thing about Arsenal is they can actually shoot from anywhere in front of the goal, but they love to create something for in the back post, both of City and Arsenal. So there will be some like cringy battle in the back post, and if Haaland plays, he will try to overpower one of these center backs. But uh, another worrying thing about Arsenal is like they are losing the second balls, and also the first balls like from the long. So Edison is like a good how can I say long ball playmaker, goalkeeper, or stuff like that. Actually, he like played directly towards Haaland or De Bruyne or Gundogan in the middle of the game so many times. So he could actually he can actually do that actually. So yeah, that is the two basic problems. Like structurally, Arsenal still solid, but a little bit sloppy in the final third passing. Uh, except for that, but they are losing some tactical battles. So this is it actually. Like this is so far the tactical preview.
Thank you. I guess I don't have anything to add, or um, but again, as I said, it's there's lot of things, tangibles and intangibles, depends on this outcome of the game, um,
Yeah.
and it just sets the tone for the rest of the season. Um, any final thoughts or any final comments?
Not really. Except like how to beat City or how to beat what they might do actually thinking about it. Like if mm, I don't know, like it's sort of like a high risk, high gain or stuff like that. If Arsenal wants to win that game, actually, they need to push up uh, a little bit and go man to man in the building phase because City is famous for that. They are uh, really low block or low building, and again, if you play Silva as a floating forward, nobody is going to strike. So like um, it will be better to press City for them, and then again it will be like higher risk in a way because they are if they play with like Erling Haaland, they can go to attack right away, like playing a long ball behind that defense actually. So in that case, actually, both the center backs um, and Ramsdale had to be sort of like a really fast, Um, and for City's points of view, they will try to be as unpredictable as possible. I don't know, like uh, it's sort of like a feeling so far what I've seen from Pep Guardiola in the last 15 years in these sort of big games, except for against like Liverpool, he love to be a little bit unpredictable or stuff like that, and do uh, stuffs. Sometimes it's like genius, and sometimes it still seems foolish. So I don't know.
Yep.
So it would be a really good tactical battles in a way.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I think we probably talked whatever we can talk about that game. Um, I don't have anything to add. Hoping for a great game, and in next time probably we're going to talk about what has happened with the game. I mean, what kind of what the moments, or I don't see it being a dull game because it should be so interesting in so many levels. Um,
Yeah, there will be goals. I hope at least like 2 3 goals. Yeah, at least it will be like 3-2 or like 2-1 or
but
something like
as
that.
an Arsenal
Actually,
fan, I mean, losing those 5 points, that just gives a little bit of nervous energy. Like it would have been cakewalk, or not as strainful as it is now. I mean,
yeah, but thing is that like Arsenal would have actually lose some points like
no, 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 fair
before or
enough,
after, but
fair enough.
against like Brentford, it was a little bit like Premier League has apologized about everything. But Arteta was saying like it's done.
Yeah, the
I
points
would
are
love
gone.
to,
Yeah,
yeah. I love to get those 2 points over anything, but it's done. It's not gonna happen. So I would like to find like 2 more points in somewhere else, stuff like that. So yeah, but another thing is that like if you watched any Arsenal game this season, it's like the game is in the game is played on Emirates, so it will be like buzzing,
yeah.
and they sort of created a how can I say how can I say uh, sort of like a anthem.
Hmm.
new anthem for Arsenal, and everyone is like singing that. Actually, it's sort of like that. So it will be fun to watch in a way, in a sense, you know.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately, I probably cannot watch because of my work. But yeah, enjoy the game. Yeah. So you have anything to add?
no, not really.
Okay. On
Um,
that case, then thank you for watching. We hope to bring you a lot more previews. Hopefully you see it and interact with us. Please like, comment, and share, and let us know that how you're feeling about the content we're putting in. Um, from us, enjoy the game. Thank you.